Namaste, angels. The daily reading for Tuesday, March 26th. Moon still in Sagittarius. We are beginning with the year 1027 when Pope John the 19th, it looks like. You know why I stopped for a second? Because the year equals 19 as well. 1027. So 127 equals, or 10 plus 2 plus 7 equals 19. And it is Pope John X1X. That is 19. Very interesting. In any case, he crowns Conrad II, Holy Roman Emperor, founder of the Salian dynasty. 1812, earthquake measuring 7.7 on the Richter scale destroys 90% of Caracas, Venezuela, and kills an estimated 15,000 to 20,000 people. 1871, municipal elections bring revolutionaries to power in Paris to form the Commune government. 1909, which equals another 19, in support of Muhammad Ali Shah's coup d'etat against the constitutional government in Persia, a Russian military force invades northern Persia to relieve the siege of Tabriz. 1942, the first Eichmann transport to Auschwitz and Birkenau concentration camps. Terrible. 1953, Dr. Jonas Salk announces the vaccine to prevent polio. 1966, large-scale anti-Vietnam War protests take place in the United States, including New York, Washington, D.C., and Chicago. In 1971, Bangladesh, or East Pakistan, under Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, declares its independence from Pakistan. Did you know the first free elections in the USSR, 190 million votes are cast, and Boris Yeltsin wins on March 26 in the year 1989. Famous birthdays: Robert Frost, Tennessee Williams, William Westmoreland, Strother Martin, Leonard Nimoy, and Keira Knightley. Would you believe Richard III of England, from 1452 to 1485, is reburied at Leicester Cathedral in England after being discovered under a car park in Leicester in 2012. This happened on March 26th in the year 2015. He was reburied. 1771, or 88, political activist Thomas Paine, Thomas means twin, 34, weds his second wife, Elizabeth Olive. 1842, Italian general Giuseppe Garibaldi, 34, weds Ana Maria de Jesus Ribeiro, 20, in Montevideo. And 1938, writer Walter Lippmann, 48, weds his second wife, Helen Byrne Armstrong. Famous deaths: John Winthrop, James Hutton, Ludwig van Beethoven, Walt Whitman, Cecil Rhodes, and David Lloyd George. Hey, speaking of Thomas means twin, I was telling the woman that I went out with on Friday. So she came up from New Hampshire, and we met up and whatever. And I knew that I knew she had a twin, as in, you know, sibling that was born with her. I knew she had a twin, but I didn't know, and I knew that she had lost a sibling. I didn't know that the one that she had lost was also a twin. And it was the first person that I met other than my own dad. I mean, I've heard of it happen to other people, but I mean that I met like or knew firsthand, other than my own dad, that, you know, a woman who had two sets of twins. So like she's a twin and her sisters are twins. Or like my dad's a twin and his brothers are twins. And then I went on to further explain to her, or let her to tell her that, you know, our last name was Thomas. So my maiden name is Thomas, and Thomas also means twin. Another interesting thing is that my dad is a Leo, and so is she. But we're just talking about how people used to be able to, you know, get pregnant a lot more easily, and now there's so many problems with fertility, which I blame the food and stuff, including veganism. You know, people say, oh, if you eat, you know, vegetables, it's 11:11 right now, eat vegetables and stuff, then that won't happen. But actually, I'm finding that it is the lack of fatty acids and stuff that are in animal fat in general that's causing fertility, from what I see. And I think that that's God or the universe forcing me to use my first degree, what I went to school for first. I majored in biology when I first went to college straight out of high school. In any case, that's a tangent. David Lloyd George. He was a British Prime Minister. His full name was David Lloyd George, 1st Earl Lloyd George of Dyfur. As British Prime Minister from 1916 to 1922, he helped to lay the foundations of the modern welfare state. Lloyd George was also the Prime Minister who ensured Great Britain's triumph in World War I. Post the war, he was a major player at the Versailles Peace Conference in Paris in 1919. You see that 19 coming up over and over again today? It's going to be something. Maybe the sun will show up and make everybody's day brighter. That reshaped Europe, that peace conference. In 1921, he partitioned Ireland between the Irish Free State and Northern Ireland, which remained part of the United Kingdom. After 1923, his power waned, and he became consistently pro-German until his death before the end of World War II in 1945. He was born on January 17th in 1863, or 99, in Chorlton on Medlock, Lancashire, England, United Kingdom, and was a Capricorn. He died on March 26 in 1945 at the age of 82 of cancer. Cecil Rhodes was a British businessman and an imperialist politician. At his death, Rhodes was considered one of the wealthiest men in the world. He was born on July 5th in 1853 in Bishop's Stortford, Hertfordshire, England, United Kingdom, and was a Cancer. He died on March 26 in 1902 at the age of 48 of heart failure. That money can't save you. Right? Richest man in the world. He was dead by 48. What good did it do? Walt Whitman, or Walter Whitman, was a poet, among the first influential poets in the American canon, often called the father of free verse. He was part of the transition between transcendentalism and realism, incorporating both views in his works. He was born on May 31st in 1819 in West Hills, New York, and USA, was a Gemini. He died on March 26 in 1892 which is 9/11 or 11, at the age of 72 of pneumonia. Ludwig van Beethoven was a German composer, widely regarded as the most important musical figure in the transitional period between the classical and romantic eras in Western music, and as one of the greatest classical composers to ever live. First taught by his father from age 5, who sought to popularize his son as a child prodigy following Mozart's success, Beethoven did not attract attention until his adolescence. His hearing began to deteriorate from his late 20s, and he experienced the last decade of his life in almost complete silence. After giving up public conducting and performing in 1811, which is 9/11 or 11, he nevertheless continued to compose and to produce some of the greatest masterpieces in his career. He was born on December 16th in 1770 in Bonn, Germany, and was a Sagittarius. He died on March 26th, which is another 11. I didn't mention it, but March 26th also equals 11. In 1827, which is another 9/9, at the age of 56, which is another 11. And the cause was liver disease. James Hutton was a geologist and Scottish, establishing geology as a true science, formulating his controversial theory of the Earth, and being the first person to suggest that the Earth is millions of years old. His theory of the Earth noted that the features of the Earth's surface must have formed through cycles of natural processes over geologic time, i.e., or for example, rocks on mountains may have been formed in the bottom of the sea. His geological research contributed to the underlying principles of uniformitarianism. He was born on June 3rd in 1726, which is 88, in Edinburgh, Scotland, and was a Gemini. He died on March 26 in 1797 at the age of 70 of illness resulting from stones in the bladder. Lastly, for the deaths, James Winthrop was the founder of the Massachusetts Bay Colony. He was English, a wealthy English Puritan lawyer, one of the founders of the Massachusetts Bay Colony, the first major settlement in what is now New England after Plymouth Colony. His vision of the colony as a Puritan, quote, city upon a hill, end quote, dominated New England colonial development, influencing the governance and religions of neighboring colonies. He was born on January 12th in 1588 in Edwardstone, Suffolk, England, and was a Capricorn. He died on March 26 in the year 1649 at the age of 61 of natural causes. Going back up to the birthdays, Keira Knightley is 33 years old. She's English. She's famous for Pirates of the Caribbean. Bend It Like Beckham. She was born on March 26 in 1985 in London, England, and is an ox in the Chinese zodiac and an Aries. Leonard Nimoy was an actor, American. He was famous for having been Commander Spock of Star Trek, not to be confused with Dr. Benjamin Spock, who I believe is a pediatrician. He was born on March 26 in 1931 in Boston, Massachusetts, USA, and was a goat/sheep on the Chinese zodiac and an Aries. He died, however, on February 27th in 2015 at the age of 83 of chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, or COPD. Strother Martin, or Strother Douglas Martin Jr., was an actor, American. He often appeared in support of superstars John Wayne and Paul Newman, and was memorable in Western films directed by John Ford and Sam Peckinpah. Best known as the prison captain in the 1967 film Cool Hand Luke, in which he uttered the famous line, quote, "What we've got here is a failure to communicate," end quote. He was born, get this, on March 26, which I said was 11, in 1919, which is another 11. In Kokomo, Indiana, USA, and was an Aries. He died on August 1st in the year 1980. August 1st, which is 9, 1980, which is 9. He was 61 at the time. The cause was a heart attack. William Westmoreland was a U.S. general, he commanded U.S. forces during the Vietnam War from 1964 to 1968. He was born on March 26 in 1914 in Saxon, South Carolina, USA, and was an Aries. He died on July 18th in 2005 at the age of 91. Tennessee Williams was a playwright, American, famous. He was a Pulitzer Prize winning playwright in 1948, whose works include The Glass Menagerie, A Streetcar Named Desire, and Cat on a Hot Tin Roof. He was born on March 26th in the year 1911 in Columbus, Mississippi, USA, and was an Aries. He died on February 25th in 1983 at the age of 71. And lastly, Robert Frost was a poet, American. He's famous for A Boy's Will and North of Boston. He was born on March 26 in 1874, another 9/11 or 11. So he was born 11/11 in San Francisco, California, USA, and was an Aries. He died on January 29th in 1963 at the age of 88, and he was the last for the day. With the dice, we are beginning with party. People are maybe still celebrating different things. Weekend away and forget it. Spirit says yes. Eat cake. Maybe somebody got engaged. That just came to me. If so, congratulations. Or if there's any more birthdays, happy birthday. Whatever you're celebrating, enjoy. And lastly, massage. People's dreams are coming true. That could be attached to engagement. The 9 of Summer is with what we're starting today. Now's the time when your dreams come true. Don't worry about how this will happen. Just give gratitude to God for all that you have and all that's still to come. So we did have a message in the weekly reading. Like the overall theme was nothing is impossible with God or the universe or however you want to look at it. And coming to the 10 of Spring, you're working too hard and the stress will soon become too much. Reach out for help from others and take some time to play and to enjoy life. Maybe take a break to celebrate something that's happening that's positive in your life. 9 of Summer. And the Two of Autumn, which also tells us like all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy, Jill a dull girl. You got to do both. You got to find that balance between social life and work life. You may be under stress because of multiple jobs or too many responsibilities for one person to manage. It's important to balance your work and personal life and to bring a spirit of fun to all you do. So if you have an opportunity to, spend some time being positive and enjoying life and being thankful and showing gratitude to the universe, for having blessed you, do that. Don't just work. Opening to the King of Winter was intelligent, impartial, respected, and unemotional. At this time, it's very important that you communicate clearly, be objective and unemotional, and act as professionally as possible. If you need advice, seek out the most experienced expert you can find. The King of Winter is a Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius, or someone likened to those traits or attributes. I'll do one more. It is Major Arcana card, the Empress, which also represents perhaps the sign of Gemini or Libra, as well as Taurus and the planet Venus, which rules all three of those. Time to hop into action. Use your natural creativity to bring forth prosperity and success in your life. So this is you coming up with creative ways to enrich yourself in different ways. Make yourself to abundant in all the different forms of abundance. Love, money, material, all those different wonderful things. Can also be about pregnancy or giving birth, whether that giving birth is literal or metaphoric. Empress. Cut. And it's the 6 of Summer. So yeah, definitely somebody close to you could be having a baby, or something could be going on with a baby, or with one's siblings or mother, or themselves as a parent, and maybe particularly a mother, with the Empress having been here. The love and care of children could become an important part of your life, or people from your childhood may return to it. Old memories can be healed, or possibly old childhood dreams are ready to be revived. 6 of Summer can also be about soulmate relationships and connections, past life relationships. And the overall energy is the 7 of Autumn. The planning, resources, and efforts that you've invested in your dream will reap great rewards. In the meantime, have patience and meditate on your next steps. So that's saying like we've already started. We've already taken the steps that we need to take to initiate something, to cause something to grow. It might have been years ago we took the steps. Years ago we applied for a government job. I'm just giving you an example from New York, for example. Here it is, 3 years later, our number's finally up on the waiting list and they're contacting us. But we took the step a long time ago to enrich ourselves. And so now maybe we got to make the decision as to whether or not we're going to take the job, because so much time has elapsed and we've gone on with our life and we're doing something else. So we don't know if we're available. But, here's this opportunity. That's the kind of thing that comes up with the 7 of Autumn. The planning, resources, and efforts that you've invested in your dream will reap great rewards. But in the meantime, have patience and meditate on your next steps. And the 4 of Winter, thoroughly think things through before making a decision. Continuing to overanalyze isn't going to get you any closer to a resolution, but meditation and prayer will bring you the answer that you seek. So this is saying meditate on your next steps. And this is saying, yes, meditation and prayer is what's going to bring you what you need to know. Crowning the masculine, the King of Autumn. Nice, compassionate, accomplished, charismatic, and grounded. Everything's going to turn out great. Projects will be stunningly successful. Exciting new career opportunities are possible. And money or resources that you come your way will be invested wisely. The King of Autumn is a Virgo, Capricorn, or Taurus, or someone likened to those traits or attributes. The masculine, I think this card was in this placement yesterday. I'm like 99.9% positive. In any case, it is here today, y'all. The 2 of Summer. You're falling in love or experiencing a deepening of emotion. You know what? The King of Autumn was here too. And I said there could be something with an earth sign and an air sign. Yeah. Interesting. Same energy. You're falling in love or experiencing a deepening of emotion in your current relationship. Marriages or romantic partnerships in distress can still be saved. Don't give up. The masculine subconscious is the queen of autumn. So for some people, this is definitely a romantic situation. We got the king and the queen here and the two of summer. So the rest of these cards are going to be about their love life. You will be given advice that's both practical and creative, and it should be followed precisely. Focus only upon the positive in every situation or person. The Queen of Autumn, like the King, is also a Virgo, Capricorn, or Taurus, or someone likened to those traits or attributes. Crowning the feminine, the Seven of Spring. Be assertive, believe in yourself, and don't let anyone take away your personal power. Trust that your inner guidance is true and follow it completely. Your intuition is very strong right now. And as it relates to your home, you might be, defending something. You're like protecting your sanctity and your sanctuary. It's time to kick back, relax, and to celebrate all that you have. Joy arises from success in your career, the completion of a project, or a very happy home life. You could be protecting the way you live your life too. Maybe it doesn't fit with society or something. People have something to say about your lifestyle, and you don't care. You're going to defend the way you live as you should. Feminine subconscious. Ooh, feeling stuck. It's the Eight of Winter. It's so easy to convince yourself that you're trapped when you really aren't. Trust that God will lift you to new heights and give you a greater sense of self-confidence if you first affirm your freedom. So for some, this could be you, whereas you should be living how you want. You'd like to live how you want, but, maybe you're too afraid to let people know what that is. Crowning. The Eight of Summer. You feel that there's more to life than what you're living, so it's time to move on. Some people can actually be moving with this crossing the Four of Spring. Four of Spring is about a home, a lot of the time. Maybe you're defending that, the fact that you want to move, or the fact you are moving. Maybe you're moving with someone, this couple, and people have something to say about that, and you might want to defend that. You may be moving from a situation that isn't good for you, or perhaps you're being drawn to what would make you happy. Either way, you're in control. At the root, foundation, it is the Seven of Winter. That energy of joy stealing. So here's the joy here, and here is somebody wanting to steal it. Could be trying to literally steal something from your home, or like break into your home. Make sure you lock your doors. This bird's got a key in its mouth. Make sure you lock your doors and stuff. Caution will help you to avoid the loss of valuables, including non-material resources, such as time or peace of mind. Be aware of the results of your actions, as well as what others might be doing behind your back. And at the heart of the matter, the King of Winter, intelligent, impartial, respected, and unemotional. At this time, it's very important that you communicate clearly, be objective and unemotional, and act as professionally as possible. If you need advice, seek out the most experienced expert you can find. The King of Winter is a Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius, or someone likened to those traits or attributes, and is often a professional kind of person. In this case, he could be a realtor, a lawyer that's helping you to move, or to facilitate some sort of project in your life toward, your joy, your happiness, or for the masculine toward some sort of material or financial abundance that is coming in. Maybe something having to do with a job or a business partnership, a business proposition. He's helping you to move forward with it. He is the professional that can do that for you. Maybe he's the facilitator of this money that comes in. He's a creditor, he's a banker, something like this. But here at the foundation, we started from a place of joy stealing. So that could be what we tried to move away from too. We could have consciously decided, I'm getting up away from this energy here. But the feminine still feeling somewhat stuck and maybe trapped by it. So let's see what's up with her. and why, what that's about, what is the fear or what is the limitation, the restriction. Some sort of sadness, feeling of loss. This placement, this is in her mind though. This is in her head. She may have truly experienced the loss. I don't want to take away, from her feelings, detract from it and say she doesn't have the right to feel the way that she does. But this is not what's around her at the moment. So this is totally a situation that's in the mind, and may even just be a manifestation of the mind, a result of overthinking. Sadness is part of life, but you don't have to endure it alone. You may need a little time to heal, but once you work your way through the emotions, you'll be stronger than before. Let's see if this is a past thing or something she is thinking about, because I feel that this is not the case now, but let's double check and see what the status is, what's going on with it now. Release is something that you got to let go of, and move on from. I think it is the past. It's time to release the past. See, that's what the Death card says. Time to release the past and to move on to something new. Joy, yeah. Let go of the sadness, move on to joy. This ending, whatever this is the first step to a happier future, right? And toward a new beginning. I'll do one more, but we know what it is now. There's some old hurt here or feeling of loss that you haven't released it. You haven't forgiven. Maybe you haven't forgiven yourself. You haven't forgiven somebody else that was involved. Maybe you haven't gotten beyond the hurt. You haven't gotten beyond the feeling of loss. Maybe there's some guilt feelings attached to it. Whatever that is, you have to let it go and be willing to transition to the next phase. It could be connected to an actual move. You moved away from your childhood home, or you moved out of, your partnered place, where you live with your wife, your husband, whatever it is. And so you're getting beyond that. With the Six of Cups having shown up before, it could be something from, your childhood, your parents. It's another 4, though. Your responsibilities may distract you from noticing all the gifts that God is presenting to you. Be open to investigating opportunities that come your way. So because you're holding on to something old, they're still not showing me exactly what might be in front of you. But because you're holding on to something old, and you're holding on to old feelings, which I feel is for the most part what's happening here. It's old negative emotions and cords of attachment that aren't helpful to you. So things like pride, fear, guilt, different forms of pain, loss, void. You're holding on to that, so it's causing you to be blind to new opportunities for joy and happiness that are staring you in the face. All right, let's take a look at the King of Winter. For some, this is, just who everything is about. Maybe you're an air sign, or dealing with an air sign, or there's something going on again. Between air and earth. It's possibly the air sign that has the feeling of like, oh, woe is me. I don't know what to do. Nothing good ever happens. But what we're supposed to do is focus upon the fact that God loves you and always has the highest of intentions for you. A positive outlook makes it easier to recover from life's little difficulties. So like whatever this is, if it's a King of Winter type person that's feeling that way, kind of unemotional and whatever, you don't want to sink into, oh, woe is me. You're guided to, pick yourself up. Positive outlook makes it easier to recover from life's little difficulties so that you can move when it's upward. Again, with the moving. And it all works out if you can do that, if you can accomplish that. The pick me up. You may receive a promotion, be chosen for a scholarship, find that you're singled out for special recognition. You've done an amazing job and you deserve all the attention. So you can look beyond the times that you felt that you didn't do an amazing job. I feel like this is mostly talking to the feminine. You can look beyond those times and, you know, accept that maybe it's finally time for your ship to come in. That was part of the weekly reading too. And it was specifically as related to love. So that can be the case. I talked about engagement. Four of Spring can definitely be about engagement, can be about marriage, other contracts, commitment, just deepening a commitment, you know, agreeing to try on a relationship, moving on, moving past our old situation that didn't work, where we were both maybe low self-esteem, low confidence, or trying to cheat each other, lying, cheating, whatever, all of that gone. And a better place. Further advice to the masculine, he's bringing these things, this kind of energy into himself, and possibly manifesting a relationship not only with an air sign, but specifically with a Gemini and the Magician. There is magic in the air. You can manifest everything you need to be successful. And for the feminine, the King of Summer, warm-hearted, devoted, loving, and faithful, a trustworthy person or relationship enters your life. You may receive wise and compassionate advice from someone who speaks directly from the heart. The King of Summer is a Scorpio, like the Death card. Pisces or Cancer, or someone likened to those traits or attributes. He could be with whom your situation is, or this could be the kind of mood and temperament of the King of Air at this time, or the King of Autumn at this time. Anyone could be approaching you in this way. And the idea is for the two of you to exchange love, whether that's romantic love, you know, familial love, parent and child, close friends, or even a stranger. The King of Cups is about being charitable and, you know, sharing the wealth even when you feel like there's not necessarily any wealth, right? You're missing the point. You're missing the fact that you are blessed and maybe not being very appreciative of it, not having that attitude of gratitude. You got $10, give one to somebody that doesn't have any, you know? That's the idea. I hope that you guys have enjoyed the daily, and you can afford to do this again because you've laid the groundwork for your abundance to come in, you know, and you can pay it forward. You have a chance to pay it forward, even in like small ways. I'll be back tomorrow, guys. Bye.